'cause your opinion don't matter. This maniac is gonna step on whomever.
On my first night on Raw, I said anybody who didn't know me yet wasn't worth my time. Well, now everyone knows who Kevin Owens is. I'm the man who started a fight with John Cena, but I'm also the man who just finished that fight. And now that I've beaten John Cena, John, I have some veteran advice. It's time for you to go, because your time is way up, but my time is now, because the champ is here! Wow.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That's
great. I mean, great match and great promo. And if you, like he said, if you don't know who he is, you now know who he is.
We figured that if there was any kind of soundbite to start the show with, that's the soundbite you listen to. If you watched Elimination Chamber, you realized, I hope you realized how amazing that match was. I hope I'm not in the minority where I think that match of the year, right?
Oh, it's easily match of the year right now. Like I was telling you earlier, it might be in my top 5 of all time.
I don't like. There was so many moments, and we'll go into it. This is going to be a post show, basically. We sometimes like to do post shows right after the event. I kind of like to kind of dwell on the show a little bit to do a post show, and we'll get more into it. But that match, I don't think I've marked out, and I don't like marking out. Maybe I do. I feel I don't mark out enough anymore because there's no reason to. But that match, even the John Cena stuff, I loved. That was just a great match, and overall, I think they put off another hell of a show.
Oh yeah, definitely, and we'll get into it as our thoughts here. So
yeah, so we're gonna get right into it because I don't want it to be. I mean, we can make this a half an hour show just on Kevin Owens and John Cena, and I'd be fine with it. We could break down like every move that went on and everything. Like you talked about, it was a flawless match almost, or maybe it
really was. Yeah, it was. Like I said, I dare to compare it to Shawn Michaels and Undertaker the first time at Mania. Like, it was on par with being that good. Or Sami Zayn Cesaro at NXT. It's on par with how good that was.
And we were talking earlier, off recording, and I was saying, like, I wish we saw matches like that at WrestleMania, because then we wouldn't have so much to complain about come WrestleMania. If matches like that happen at WrestleMania is an epic event. Like, that's the match you have at WrestleMania.
I think now that you have the talent that we do on the main roster, you have, Rollins, Ambrose, Reigns, you have Neville, you have Daniel Bryan, even, when he wrestles, you have Kevin Owens now, you're going to have Sami Zayn, you're going to have Samoa Joe. These guys put on those matches, and we haven't had those guys the last 2 or 3 years at WrestleMania. So now we're going to have those guys having big matches at WrestleMania. I think from here on out, WrestleMania should...
Yeah.
WWE can fuck that up in no hurry, but it should be, WrestleMania quality that we expect.
Yeah, like I think kind of what you're getting at is that we're going to have as much talent as we do for you not to put them on the show now. So, hopefully. But, so we're going to get right into it. The kickoff match, which I didn't see. Did you watch the kickoff match at all?
Yes.
Okay.
It was...
Stardust and Ryder?
Yeah, it was a decent match. they finally let Cody win.
Yeah.
Or Stardust, whatever you want to call him.
Did they have any mention of Stephen Amell at all?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, they brought that up. And obviously they're building up Stardust, Cody Rhodes, whatever, to have a match after losing all this time, and they like completely buried him. So now they got to try and build him up. So
it's like the story of his career. Like, how many times are they going to play this game with him where they realize they buried him?
Man, he was hot there when he was like the Intercontinental Champion, and he had the face mask and everything, and he turned heel. Man, he was just. I was like, okay, this is your Money in the Bank winner. Like, I remember the one year, I'm like, this is the guy. This is it. This is his time.
Yeah.
And I think, Sandow won it that year?
Yeah, and because people were high on Sandow as well, but then Sandow is Sandow the one that was the very first person to lose Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
Okay. No. So, I mean...
Yeah, there's only been 2 people that have ever lost it.
And Goldust...
It's what they were saying tonight on Raw.
Okay. Goldust can only save what they think needs saved as much as so many times.
Yeah.
All right. So Stardust got a good win, kick off the show. I was actually uploading the last episode of this podcast while that was going on. I came home to some BW3 wings, so that was pretty nice actually. It's the truth, at least. But regardless, I don't really watch the pre-shows that often. Usually, it's not something that even.
Yeah. Well, and then we also had the Daniel Bryan and Miz. Miz TV
how'd that
episode. Go? It was just like you expected. Miz did some heel stuff, making fun of Daniel Bryan and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan said he was there to present the winner of the Intercontinental title Elimination Chamber match, the Intercontinental title, and he also said that his career is not over and that he will be back.
Okay, that's wishful thinking. I think his career is over, but that's nice. That's nice that he's gonna. Has
he had surgery or scheduled to have surgery? Because he needs to get over this natural healing stuff and just get surgery.
I completely agree. Especially in this line of business that he's in, it's not something where it's like, just stay off it for 2 weeks, you'll be fine. No.
And WWE is going to give you the best doctors in the world, whether it's James Andrews, who performs on every athlete, I think, ever. I think that guy has to do like 13 surgeries a day.
He probably does. Everyone goes to him. If you're watching SportsCenter, you hear his name all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not just like
he's like up there with Drew Rosenhaus and Scott Boras as like names that are non-athletes that you hear all the time.
Yeah. So he's got he is one of the best, and he really does just need to get in there. And I mean, at this point in his career, he's not super young. He was another kind of guy that got in there late, and whatever's wrong with him, he needs to get fixed, and it needs to be by a doctor, not just this natural healing. Natural healing is great. I respect it for people that are into that kind of thing. A lot of people are into the whole new natural for everything. So I understand it, but at this stage, you just got to get it done and get paid.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're not going to go in order necessarily of what the matches were. We're kind of just taking it right off of WWE.com and just going in from basically the least exciting to the most exciting.
Well, we can do it in order. That's not a big deal.
I'm already on Neville and Bo Dallas. We're going to talk about that quickly. Last week we actually kind of made a guess of how long this match would go. I said 7 minutes 30 seconds or lower. I actually calculated it. It was 9 minutes and 2 seconds long. So they did get a little bit longer time than I thought. For this pay-per-view, I thought the match was perfectly fine. They put on definitely a solid match. Bo Dallas, I don't think really clicks with many people, but I think for guys from NXT, he had that time to mess with them and fight with them, and I think this match was definitely nice.
He's never been given a chance to click with anybody. He has like one match,
he gets matches,
here and there, but
how many excuses can you make up for him, really?
But it's a program. You're not going to have chemistry fighting Zack Ryder, and then next week they rehire JTG, and he faces him, and then they fire JTG the next day.
You know how excited I'd be if they rehire JTG?
Like, I'm scared to, turn on NXT soon and see Crime Time rehired as, those, veteran hires that they've been doing
That would be
lately.
awesome.
No, that would be the worst thing they've ever done.
That would help the tag division even
like,
more.
I would rather see them bring back, like, Nathan Jones and Heidenreich.
Oh, Heidenreich. That is one name I would have guessed would never even been talked about on the show, ever.
Yeah, well, he is now. Like, I would rather... You probably don't even remember who Nathan Jones is,
Yeah,
do
Nathan
you?
Jones, because he was on that Australia, or that other Jeff Jarrett promotion that we were talking about, I think, last week. They brought him
was
into,
he? Okay.
Yeah, like he's Australian, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him. He was...
Yeah, he came in feuding with Undertaker, and then he like flopped after like a month.
Oh yeah, he was many people probably can't even remember that name just because he was here for so little of time.
Yeah. But basically, Bo needs a program. Like, that's what I liked about WCW and WWE back in the day. They would give these lower guys an actual program, like for the TV title. You had a program. It was a lower title, but you guys had a program and you fought for it. And, like you would any other title. That's so missing in wrestling nowadays, and I hate that.
Let's not take it too far, to too many extremes. That's way above WWE Creative's pace.
I know.
We can't
I'm
come up with
hoping,
that kind of stuff. That makes too much sense.
I'm hoping our boy Jimmy Jacobs listens and can fix this for
I'm
me,
interested to know when Jimmy Jacobs actually is going to start, and then I'm interested to know
He already started.
Did he already start? Okay, well, I need to know what kind of input he's putting in there because...
Well, I'm sure he's low man on the totem pole right now.
Sure.
They're like, yeah, kid, just write notes over here in the corner.
Yeah.
It's probably Michael Hayes be like, hey, go get me a coffee, kid.
Yeah. No, my thing with Bo is it's like I understand with the whole program and stuff like that, but he doesn't bring anything to matches, to me at least. Maybe he does to you. Yeah. Maybe I'm just a hater for him or whatever. I've said, I've seen him in their development for so long. I don't remember someone that's been in development longer than him. I think the only other person that was in development longer than him was Sandow. When Sandow was he had like long hair.
How about...
he actually came into WWE. You probably don't even remember him.
I don't. I remember we talking about this. Another one that was in there forever was EC3 or Derek Bateman. He was in there forever too. Yeah, they brought him up like once or twice, and yeah.
And leave it for TNA to be the company that can actually make something out of him.
I know, right? Before we move on from this match real quick, I just want to get what your thoughts of Neville being in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Do you think he deserves it?
He doesn't deserve it, but he deserves it just like Kofi deserves it. He's there for a spot monkey.
Yeah, where the hell did they get the idea of giving that to him? But whatever.
It's purely for spots. I mean, if you're going to put anyone in New Day, you'd put Big E in, but none of them deserve it at all right at this point. But yeah, it's just for spots. And he will have spots. Can you imagine the things that him and Kofi will do with a ladder together? I mean, there could be some really cool spots.
I want the big Jeff Hardy 50-foot tall ladder, and I want to see a red arrow off the top of it. That's my dream for crazy. Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and just what they need. Another guy goes down with an injury. All right. Next we had Nikki Bella, Paige, and Naomi for the Divas title in the Triple Threat match. This is the first main roster women's match that I really enjoyed for the most part. Nikki Bella gets the win, and that's the low point of the match completely. She doesn't deserve the win. She didn't do crap in this match to get the win.
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't get is, like, I fully expected the title to change hands here. Like, the last thing I thought was she was going to keep it, but maybe they're doing something for Money in the Bank. I think they just announced that Paige and Nikki are fighting at Money in the Bank, so maybe they're saving it for that. I don't know. That sucks
because, honestly, after watching this match, I now want to see Paige versus Naomi for the title. These two girls they did some really good stuff in the ring, and they really do have chemistry, I'd say, in the ring together. So I would love to have the title just between those two. Nikki Bella sucks. She does. I'm sorry.
She's not terrible, but I mean, she's average at best.
No, but she's the perfect example of what WWE does. They find a pretty girl. They give her a boob job. they put her out there, and they're like, we're gonna train you, and you're gonna work.
Wait. Cena gives her a boot
Okay,
job.
fair.
She dates Cena. Cena gives her the stroke. Hey, Vince, nudge, nudge. Can you get my girl the Divas title and make sure she stays there and breaks AJ Lee's record for me? Oh, yeah, sure. No problem, John.
Yeah, that's probably more like it.
But anyways, not to get off topic of it, but how about Naomi's ring gear with like the light up shoes? I think those are cool as hell.
Yeah, they are cool, and I mean, I like her attitude, but I really love just how far she's come as a wrestler.
Well, she's the most athletic diva maybe ever.
Yeah, she's crazy athletic. Like seeing her get in the ring and do like those jumping splits and like over the top rope to get in.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, but I just remember seeing her, like, years ago. She just was, like, first of all, she wasn't that attractive.
Well, yeah. I remember her on the NXT.
Yeah.
And with AJ and Naomi, and there's a couple others.
Mm-hmm.
And Naomi
Caitlyn was
the
on
one
there, too.
And Caitlyn, yeah. Naomi was the one who stood out the most to me.
Really?
Because of how athletic she was compared to everybody else.
See, Caitlyn was the one that I was most interested in from seeing that NXT season.
Well, so was I, but that was more because of her comedy.
Well, me, I think Caitlyn had overall the most potential. Just overall, in like every level. I felt she already had some charisma inside of her, and I felt that she was a fan of wrestling, and she was going to be maybe able to develop a little bit quicker than others. I don't think I even had much potential for AJ that season. I don't know. I don't remember necessarily, but I don't really think I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed the match, and it was awesome because it kind of made me think of NXT. Like the NXT matches, whenever they have the events, I usually enjoy the women's matches, and then I'm waiting for when is that going to translate to the WWE. And we have Paige, who is an NXT girl. Naomi, she was going up in there. She's not necessarily an NXT girl because they brought her in a couple years ago. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I just hate Nikki. Nah, I don't want to talk about that one yet. I want to save that one. Can we even? No, we can't even save it. This pay-per-view was good. It really was. All right, let's talk about the Intercontinental Elimination Chamber match.
Okay.
So the person that was, the person that was substituted for Rusev ended up being your boy.
Yeah, Mark Henry.
The Hall of Pain, baby.
And they said Booker T on the pre-show said he heard from his sources that it was going to be a former world champion.
Okay.
So immediately right then and there I knew, okay, it's not Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So I was thinking, okay, who could it be? And I thought, okay, it's going to be The Miz. And my second thought of a returning star was Jack Swagger.
Oh.
Because where the hell is
Where is he?
Pretty much he is.
He's injured or something?
I think they just took him off TV because Zeb got hurt or whatever, and I just think they forgot about him. Like he's in the JTG status now.
Oh, come on. JTG status, that's pretty low.
But anyways, that's who I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Mark Henry came out, I was like, really?
That's funny because as soon as I see it, I automatically thought of you just because...
And I'm a Mark Henry fan, but he's done now. Like the injury bug has hit him the last 2 or 3 years, and he's so over. Like when he was the SmackDown World Champion, a couple years ago or whatever, that was his last good run, and he's done now.
Yeah, and
then I was waiting for Big Show to come out too. That was the other one. I'm like, oh god.
What did I think we both kind of have a similar feeling on this chamber match. What was your feeling? Without giving away the win yet.
I didn't think it was that great. I thought it was average at best. I mean, there wasn't really anything that stands out in my mind, move wise. I remember the couple guys getting tossed through the thing. The Lexiglan or whatever it's called, glass.
Plexiglass, is that what it?
Yeah, and I mean that's really all I remember.
Yeah,
it's there's nothing that I remember too much. I remember Sheamus locking himself in with his necklace.
Yeah,
and I thought that was kind of cool because that's really had never been done before. So I thought that was a little neat. But
that's really all I remember even.
Yeah, and the match, just nothing really stood out for me other than that. So
yeah, for me, I take two things away from it. I take that what you just mentioned, and then I took away who the final two were. Other than that, I just kept feeling disappointed. I saw more and more people that I wanted to make it to the final three or final two keep getting eliminated. And I'm like, what are they even doing? I thought for a chamber match, this is probably one of my least favorites, honestly.
Oh, that was the one I remember. Wasn't Wade Barrett the first one that got pinned, and it was by R-Truth?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
that's like what? Like where did this come from? Like, hey, R-Truth, we're gonna have you pin Wade Barrett.
And why the hell was R-Truth even in there? Like, let alone getting a pinfall over him.
I don't know. Like, he must be Vince's boy or something.
You know what's funny is have you ever seen like that?
Yes, that I know what you're thinking.
Where it has R-Truth and Vince like laughing. Like whenever I see something good with R-Truth, I can just like see them like best buds or something. Like I can just picture them talking like he's saying to Vince, "Hey Vince, remember the one time you said the N-word? Wasn't that funny?" Yeah. So it's like, I don't know what R-Truth does or who he must be the greatest like social person backstage to keep getting these pushes here and there, because he's done his best moments in this business was in TNA.
Yeah. And so our final two though were Ryback and Sheamus.
Yeah. Which
was, I mean, I guess a decent end. They had a little like 3, 4, 5 minute run there to end it.
And they were kind of hyping it up on Raw the previous week for being the first two people, or was it a previous week or 2 weeks ago? They were the first two people kind of butting heads. So I was okay.
Well, you had Sheamus and Dolph too.
Yeah, but wasn't it Ryback and Sheamus were the first two out when they were announcing the participants?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Okay, I think it was.
But I remember, like the one part of the match where I was like, ooh, was when Sheamus did white noise on the steel guardrails, like on the outside, and I couldn't think of like Ryback, like where he hurt his ribs like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that can't feel too good, and it didn't look too good either on him.
Yeah,
he looked like he was hurting, but the match continued on. Ryback ended up hitting the Shell Shock and got the win, and that was his first title he's ever won, singles title he's ever won.
Yeah, and I kept seeing these moves that Sheamus was doing to him, and I was like, dang it, there's no way he's not going to do it. And then I see them at the very end, and once Ryback gets the pinfall, I actually got really excited. Like I went, yes. And I don't know if I was more excited about Sheamus not winning or about Ryback winning, because I didn't like I said last week. Well, I was okay with Ryback. Ryback was my wild card. That last case scenario, I'm okay if Ryback wins this. I just really didn't want Sheamus to win this.
I like it because somebody new.
Yeah.
Give him a shot. Let's see what he can do. And the fans are really behind him because the fans were chanting like crazy, "Feed me more" after the match.
Yeah, even during the match, I think the fans were kind of in the same boat as I was, where it was kind of like
anybody Sheamus. Yeah, they would have took. Yeah, they would have took R-Truth.
They really would have. I would have taken R-Truth over Sheamus. But yeah.
So it was okay. It wasn't nothing spectacular.
No, nothing spectacular. And then the other Elimination Chamber match, it actually started the show, was the Tag Team Elimination Chamber match, which I really enjoyed actually. There was a time at the kind of 2/3 through where I was like, oh man, I don't like where this is going. But I think from the beginning to the end, honestly, it's actually probably one of my favorite chamber matches.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I think it was still pretty good.
I'll say this: it was one of my favorites from recent past.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, obviously you had a couple teams in there that probably shouldn't have been in there, but there's only so many teams.
Yeah.
Like I could imagine if the Usos were healthy, how much better this match would have been.
Oh yeah.
So I was thinking of that. Let's see. I was kind of disappointed the Lucha Dragons didn't really do anything. I mean, you had Kalisto climbing the chamber, but that was really their only highlight. I figured
I feel
would
they did
be,
some stuff, but they didn't do as much as I think that we were hoping.
Yeah, I would say the three biggest ones coming out of this other, obviously New Day was the winners. Ascension got a couple pinfalls, and I don't know why, but Primetime Players got a couple pinfalls. And especially they pinned probably everybody's fan favorite, Kid and Cesaro.
I was so pissed off when it happened too.
I mean,
but it was
Darren Young pinned Cesaro, so
yeah, and it was done perfectly after they did after they did the swing and then the drop kick.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so it was done perfectly, and I was like, dang it, I hate it, but it's like that was done so fluidly that I was like, I guess that's okay. Just, I mean, obviously they got pinned, so that is what it is. I'm not going to get everything that I want out of life. But, I was really disappointed because they really shined in that match. Ascension looked probably stronger than they've looked in a long time.
Probably since they've ever come into the WWE, up to the main roster.
I was surprised to see that all three members of New Day actually were in the match because we were expecting just.
Well, that was another pre-show thing.
Okay.
Because they helped out the Authority on SmackDown, so during the pre-show, they went up to Kane and hey, we scratched your back. How are you going to scratch ours? And Kane allowed them to have all three in the match. That's why that happened.
I thought, as much as I didn't like the first round of the Seal Otter guy, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young together, the PTP, I thought this match they worked really well together actually. And then Titus was dominant. He really was. He really should.
Yeah, he looked comfortable.
Yeah, he really did. We were saying that earlier. He actually, for the first time, looked really comfortable. They looked like they clicked really well as a tag team, and they were doing so well that I really thought that they were going to win the titles for a while.
Yeah, me too. I mean, me and Jeff have always been big advocates that we thought Titus was garbage.
Yes.
But last night he impressed me. He did some nice moves. He was dominant. He just showed everything. Like, he looked comfortable. It looked like a superstar. So I have a little bit more high hopes for them.
I do too this time around.
I still wish they had Abraham Washington though.
Oh, I think everyone still wishes that. What was it, Kobe Bryant joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the boot after he mentioned something. Oh man, that was actually funny. I kind of want to look for that clip now. It was a good match. We were thinking there was going to be more spots by the Lucha Dragons, or just in general, because there was a lot of cruiserweights. El Torito did a spot, and so did Kalisto. He was like Spider-Man, and he climbed on top of climbed inside of it, but on the top of the whole chamber structure, which was kind of interesting, kind of cool. Jeff Hardy but I kept thinking, because it took him so long, and then when he did the spot, I was like, he didn't really nail it. So it was kind of a letdown of the spot. If he would have done something, I was kind of hoping he was gonna he kept swinging back and forth. So I was kind of hoping he was gonna do just kind of like a shooting star press or something like that. That would have been really cool, but he kind of he hit 2/3 of the people, and then they were falling down. So it's kind of a disappointment. But overall, I really did enjoy the match, and that was a great way to start off the pay-per-view. And then we only have the two matches left. Gosh, you know what? I want to talk about the world title match first, because I want to save the Owen stuff. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. It started slow, but these guys have so much chemistry and knowledge of what each other is going to be doing that it really, even like a third of the match in, or maybe halfway into the match, things really picked up speed. A lot of action on the outside as well. A lot of Dean Ambrose's that false fall out of the rings kind of stuff, and then Seth caught him a time or two, but. Overall, I really did enjoy this match, and I think we were talking earlier. It kind of shows that Dean can make it at this level.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier, I think that match legitimizes Dean finally now as, hey, I can headline a show, I can be a main eventer. So I think this puts Dean as in the main event status. Like we were talking earlier, the crowd, I mean, you see so many Dean Ambrose T-shirts out there and signs and stuff. He's got a big reaction. I don't want to. He's not Daniel Bryan level, but he's getting close.
Yeah, he's the new hot flavor.
He might be the best face right now that they have. Like that the crowd is behind.
Oh yeah, the crowd's behind. I'd fully believe in that. Roman came out at the end, and I don't know. Roman just seems kind of like a watchdog for him right now. It's kind of, you know what this kind of feels like a little bit? It kind of feels like early stages of Shawn Michaels and Diesel back in like the mid '90s, where Roman is just kind of his watchdog. Really, honestly, I think Roman will get back to where he wants to be, but if they keep doing this, it's going to be harder.
Yeah, I think that was just maybe because the odds are so stacked against Dean because J&J and Kane are out there, and I think that's more of a to even the odds kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really want to put it on that level like you were saying, but but the match though itself was very good. I thought. Definitely liked all the like false finishes they had. I mean, they were pulling out, all the moves that they had in their arsenal. Like I was telling you, I hate how it ended though, because I've seen matches where the guy pulls the referee into the move and gets knocked out and never gets DQ'd, and then all of a sudden now he gets DQ'd. Like, there needs to be a standard for that. Either if it happens every time, it's a DQ, or, just stupid things. I mean, I knew it was a technicality just so Seth can keep the title.
Yeah.
But I was, like, smiling from ear to ear, like, pumped, like, Dean's the champ. This is awesome.
Yeah, at first I get so excited. I'm like, no way. He pinned him. Like, but then I'm like, gosh, I know this isn't going to stand. I just know it's not going to stand.
As soon as that other ref came in and started talking to the other ref, I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
And I knew it was too good to be true.
Yeah.
But I like that Dean took the title and stole it. And I hope they keep that up until like the pay-per-view where he doesn't give it back or anything. Obviously Raw is going on right now in the background here, but we don't know exactly how that's going to play out. But I hope Dean just holds the title hostage from Seth and just like teases him with it for the next, 2 weeks up until the pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah. And I love the line where he was like, it looks like I got the beers, big guy, tonight. I was like, I'm sure Vince loved that for the PG.
Yeah.
But I too love that he just stole the title and then they left with it. Like, I love.
Yeah, it reminded me of Punk at Money in the Bank in 2010, where he's like, "Bye, see ya," and walked out with it.
Yeah, and I think that the big thing about this match is what we just said. It legitimizes. I can't even say the word right, but you get what I'm saying. It puts Dean in the better light. Where people are still maybe on the fence of is he in that mid card? Is he just trying to get up to that main level? He's up there. The fans love him. He can put on a match. He can carry anyone at this stage. He has the kind of moveset that, and the kind of just like.
Yeah, he can fight anybody. He can fight Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler. Those high flyers. Yeah. Or he could probably make Big Show and Mark Henry look good at this point.
I don't know if anyone can make Big Show look good at this point.
Well, you get what I'm saying, though.
Well, actually, one person did Roman, so I guess someone can.
Yeah, but that was because there was weapons and stuff involved.
I enjoyed the match. It was a letdown just knowing that he wasn't going to get the title, but at least going forward, you see that it's possible, and you kind of get the feeling and excitement that at some point it will happen. So I'm still waiting just for that triple threat match of the Shield, just going crazy for 45 minutes. That's what I just really want.
That would be like my WrestleMania match. I would like to see
and actually, Roman mentioned at last WrestleMania that's what he wanted, actually, was just a triple threat of the Shield. So,
it'll happen one day.
Oh, yeah, it'll happen. Lastly, though, we're going to talk about match of the night, Match of the year.
All right, Nikki, Brie, and Nikki, Naomi, and Paige. It was a great match.
We're revisiting it. Now with Kevin Owens and John Cena.
Oh, they fought? And I
They
didn't know
did,
that.
actually. You should go back and check it out.
One.
Just pay $9.99. Actually, no, you don't have to pay anything this month. The last 2 months, it's free. What the hell am I paying money for? But Kevin Owens and John Cena. I was telling anyone that was I would get texts all day yesterday about the pay-per-view and people asking what I thought was going to happen, or even my brother texted me and asking me, "Do you really think Owens is going to be able to beat Cena?" And I told him, "You know what? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think that they're going to let that happen." But I told him it doesn't matter. Regardless, watch the match. It's going to be a fight. I told someone else these two are going to have a killer fight. I just knew it. I knew they were going to have an awesome match. They exceeded what I was thinking, though. This match was amazing. I can't tell you how many times I had a smile on my face of just things that were happening. And it wasn't all Kevin Owens. I mean, I am a big Steen fan. I have been for a while, so maybe that adds to my excitement of this match, and it probably does, because I got the same feeling with Punk and with Daniel Bryanson and others. But even stuff Cena did got me excited. And like I've said in the last week's show, Cena, he fights to the level of skill of his opponent now. When he has boring people like Randy Orton, or someone like that caliber, then it's not that great of a match. It's a pretty boring match, and then we get the "you can't wrestle" chants and same old shit and stuff like that. But last night he performed perfectly with Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's just one of the guys that he clicks with. You know, I knew you weren't watching. Otherwise, I was going to text it to you.
Yeah, actually,
you know
what? I'll let you finish. I'll do my Kanye thing. I'll let you finish. But I actually didn't check. Like, I had like 5 or 6 different people texting me that may have been watching the show or may have not. I didn't even look at my phone until I was completely finished watching the show, because I didn't want to be spoiled at all. Yeah,
and I wanted to text you, was like, man, I think Cena's going to run out of moves here, because he ran out of he used every move that we've ever seen him do.
He's even going to Stone Cold's pile.
Yeah, I mean, the STF, the attitude adjustment, the leg drop from the top rope, the springboard stunner, his 5-knuckle shuffle, whatever. He used all 5 of his 5 moves of doom.
Yeah.
Multiple times, and Owens just kept kicking out. Owens would hit every one of his moves. Cena would keep kicking out. It was just false finish after false finish. Both of these guys never gave up, and it just got to that point where Cena just kept kicking out. I'm like, man, they're not going to let Owens win it. But when he finally hit that second power bomb, I was like, this has to be it. And he pinned, and I think a state of shock came over me. It
did, me too.
Well, like, they let him win? Did they really let him win? And I was so happy because, like I said on the pre-show predictions, that Cena doesn't need to win this match, but Owens, they can make Owens an even bigger star than he already is, and they did last night with that.
Yeah.
Now, like I was telling you kind of earlier, the other thing I don't like about this now is now they made the rematch.
Yeah.
So basically he has 2 weeks of build-up to the match, 2 weeks of momentum, and then Cena's probably going to go over him this time and finally beat him. Probably.
But here's
That's
my
what you would expect. Well, hold on, let me finish.
Okay, I'll let you finish.
They need to do something with Owens being like, why do I need to fight you again? I already beat you. I'm already better than you. Why the hell do I need to fight you again? And they need to build that up, and this needs to be a SummerSlam match. This needs to be built up until SummerSlam.
Oh, I agree.
They don't need to do this 2 weeks later now, and where he's probably going to lose, and then he'll be back in NXT fighting Joe and be an afterthought. I mean, he ain't going to be an afterthought, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's how WWE logic is.
When is Summerfest? Is it in August?
Yeah, that's when this match should be rematched if they're going to redo it.
Yeah.
Let Owens go back to NXT, have his feud with Joe now, and I mean, obviously he's got the main roster thing. They're going to keep him up. It kind of takes away from his feud with Joe now.
Well, and I was going to go into that after you finish.
Yeah. It takes away from his feud with Joe now because everyone's like, oh, well, he's on the main roster anyways, and you probably know what the outcome's going to be now because he's going to be on the main roster. So it's like, I don't know. I think this match needs more build-up and more time.
Here's my thing. I have 2 points. One, no one's going to remember this rematch, honestly. They're going to remember the first match, the debut, and his debut was, by God, one of the best debuts you could have had. Wrestling-wise, opponent-wise, the promos before, the run-ins before, the setup was beautifully done, and it was perfect. Him stepping on the titles multiple times, I loved it every single time. So no one's going to remember their rematch that's coming up. Now, I hope you're right. I hope this is a SummerSlam kind of match because these two, charisma-wise, they can banter off each other so well.
Speaking of that, man, we kind of talked about it earlier. I just want to see some Owens versus Paul Heyman stuff now.
That would be
God.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier too. Secondly, before we get off topic, because that's a whole other thing, and I am going to bring up Paul Heyman to end the show actually, because he is doing an interview with Stone Cold for Stone Cold's podcast. The other thing is with Joe. It doesn't matter anymore, and you're right, and that sucks because now he can be going back and forth between NXT and Raw, but why? What's the point? So I don't know if they're going to bring Joe in to get the title from him and just do stuff with people on NXT. But like we said, he has the new contract for the main roster, so there's really no point to be in NXT that much longer. And with Joe coming in, they haven't set up anything necessarily yet where Joe's going to be completely feuding with him, but it's expected. So,
yeah. And then the last thing I want to bring up is I think doing this rematch now is a big mistake. I think this needs to be dropped, and I think Owens needs to be added into the Money in the Bank ladder match, and Owens needs to win that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been so quick to make this rematch.
I think they
you know what?
I think they watched the match and they're like, oh my God, this was epic. Let's do it right now, now. They didn't think about it.
I think actually it's the reverse. I think they blindly did it. I don't think that they expected it to go over as well as it did. Because it was magic in the ring. You sometimes will see magic in the ring, and that's what it was last night.
I would love to see one of those 24/7 things of and just see the backstage reaction when those two walk through the curtain after the match.
Oh my gosh, I hope they do that. I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love it for Kevin Owens for his debut match. That would be perfect. I hope they did it, but yeah, you never know. All right, so ending on this, was there anything else you wanted to talk about with this from this match?
No, not from this match. Just WWE's false, just not thinking straight.
Okay, so go into that now.
Just like I've already explained, I think Owen should be. Now he should be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Yeah. And I think he should win that.
Yeah, I agree.
Capitalize on that now.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have to cash it in right now. He can cash it in next year's WrestleMania or something.
I mean, Seth did it for a full year, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Overall, though, I think great things from WWE because at the last pay-per-view, they actually put on an outstanding match, and then this pay-per-view, or they put on an outstanding show, and then this pay-per-view, they also put on an outstanding show.
Yeah, 2 in a row. And then we have Money in the Bank in 2 weeks, and they've already announced 6 Money in the Bank competitors and the main and 2 other matches, which the rematch, Cena and Owens. They're going to have the world title match in a ladder match between Ambrose and Rollins that was announced tonight. And then the 6 participants so far are Dolph Ziggler, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Neville, Kofi, and Sheamus, and they're supposed to add 2 more, I heard.
Okay, yeah, I saw there was the kind of thing earlier in the night where
I'm thinking Mark Henry and Big Show for the last 2 spots.
Oh gosh, don't even say that.
Or maybe a returning Kali or something.
Yeah. So we will have a podcast later this week talking more about what gets announced and everything, and actually our thoughts on the Paul Heyman interview with Stone Cold that's going on tonight. But make sure you watch it. If there's ever any time to watch a post-Raw special, it would be this. Other podcasts that they do with guys, at least with the Stone Cold ones, Stone Cold has no worries about mentioning anything. So it's going to be great. Paul Heyman is absolutely the best guest you could even have for that kind of thing.
I hope Stone Cold will bring up some CM Punk stuff. That'd be nice.
Yeah. So we will have that. And then lastly, just wanted to bring up, we have discussed it, and we are taking the show as a YouTube channel kind of shows instead of just getting the audio, which we'll still be able to get the audio on Podbean, not Podomatic like I said last week, but Podbean, and just search for The Rope Break. We will have that, but we will also just be making this an actual YouTube channel video broadcast. So look for that. Give you more details as we go forward to that. Watch the Stone Cold show tonight, and we'll catch up with you guys later this week.
All right, see you later.
I'm back, and I'm better than ever. Got a knack for making things better. Face facts, 'cause your opinion don't matter. This maniac is gonna step on